Breeders, stop doing this. So this is probably the most impassioned you'll see me in a while, but I have a real problem with something that hardly, shockingly, anybody talks about or even mentions. And if you do bring it up to a reptile breeder that is shipping something, they don't share the same concern. They think you're actually silly for having the concern in the first place, yet people that have the experience that I have had are not uncommon. I spend a lot of time in reptile groups and I see a lot of posts, beginners or other breeders and stuff who share similar experiences, so it's not that rare. What is this in regards to? This is an issue with shipping packaging. Now, I know that I'm not an experienced breeder, however, I am a human being with common sense. I am 34 years old, so I'm a grown-ass adult. I worked in the pet industry for over 10 years. I've been keeping ball pythons and various other animals for over 18 years, so it's not like I don't have enough brain capacity to put together that this should be a common sense thing that people should care a little bit more about, or at least discuss. So I recently got an animal in December, only a couple of weeks before Christmas. This was not my choosing. I just wanted to pay and hold the animal as it was perfect for my projects and I didn't want it to disappear on me. But the breeder was against holding. They wanted to just ship it immediately. And I expressed concern. You know, it was not only winter, but it was the busiest shipping month of the year. Everybody knows that December is a bad time to ship animals. On top of the weather issues, you deal with a lot of understaffing, overstress, an excess of packages going in and out. There might even be flight delays due to weather. There's a whole plethora of things that could go wrong that are not even related to this topic. So I expressed my concern to this breeder, you know, what about delays? You know, shouldn't we be concerned? This animal's very young, it's a very young baby, I don't want it to die. And we're talking about a baby ball python here. And they said, no, I do this all the time. I've never had a problem in all my years, never, which I don't fucking believe. They also said they had all of this pull with Fedex. Oh, they use, a certain shipping company that has all of this power. They'll make sure that the animal isn't delayed, which is also not true. Yeah, they can contact FedEx, and yeah, FedEx is more likely to talk to them and share information, and maybe they can pressure them a little bit. But during December, if they're backed up 10,000 packages and understaffed, they're not going to give a fuck. So they reassured me, they pushed me, I didn't want to lose the opportunity to get this animal, so I said, fine, if you are so confident and you have all of these ungodly powers to make this shipment go off without a hitch, I am not as experienced with shipping, I will go with what you tell me, let's just do it. So lo and behold, the animal was delayed a day, of course, and weather was averaging 20 to 30 degrees outside. I am in New Hampshire, I am in a colder climate, so delays are an even more serious thing over here in New England. Memphis, Tennessee was also very cold this time of year. They were experiencing normal winter temperatures just like I was, which is pretty much where all, cross-state line animal shipments end up. It did arrive about a day and a half later than it should have, so it did spend a night in a warehouse, in cold storage, as things often do. And it arrived to my hub the following morning. Thankfully, the people at my local hub are great. They're very friendly, they're very communicative. They care a lot about live animal shipments. Not everyone does at FedEx, and they have no policy protecting live animals from mishaps. They only have a policy for perishables, some of which can be cold. I arrive, they give me the box is very cold, both me and the FedEx employee are very concerned. They allow me to open it in the FedEx hub, which is also not a common occurrence. I couldn't believe that they were this helpful. So I opened it in the hub, everything was cold, the packaging was cold, the bag was cold. I pull the snake out, barely moving, and then he starts to kind of stick out and flick his tongue. Really slow-like. I am, of course, overcome with relief because I know essentially the snake is very young. There's risks involved still, he's not out of the woods. But guess what the animal was shipped in? There is absolutely nothing on this packaging to indicate that there is a live animal in this box. I guess except for this little hole. Just to double check that I am not crazy, I checked every inch of it, everywhere. I read every word. And yeah, no, there's literally nothing in here that says that this is anything but food or medication. I did double check with FedEx employees because this has happened to me before with this same box. I have actually spoken to a lot of different people over the last couple of years. I've made phone calls to the higher ups. I've been escalated. I've had literal like upper management at Fedex who handle these kinds of things call me, and I've had a long phone conversation. It has been confirmed, including with the employee at the hub, they would not assume that this is anything but food or medication. They would not look at this and think that there is a live animal in there. That is a serious problem. Yes, granted, there is some thick-ass insulation in this box. That cannot be denied. However, especially with holes in it and sitting in cold for long enough, it is not immune to getting cold on the inside. And obviously this was demonstrated by my snake arriving frozen, and this is not the first time I have had to resuscitate an almost dead snake that borderline froze in one of these boxes. So that doesn't seem to save it. Now, what is the problem here if, the box is well insulated, if some reptiles can handle the cold, and it's delayed an extra day, but for the most part they're fine. Well, the problem is that you are kind of relying on the judgment and the perception of the people handling this box, and there could be dozens or hundreds of people that touch these boxes during transit. Now, I know that Fedex does not have any specific policy on handling for live animals, but people morally tend to have their own policies, and if they know that there is a live animal in here, they are far more likely to handle it gently, to keep it upright, to move it along, to make sure it's on the top of a stack, or to make sure that it gets on that flight that's going out that night for priority overnight shipping, especially if the flight were to, say, fill up, because it's the holidays and the flights fill up a lot more often and a lot more things are left behind. I brought this concern up with the breeder, and they didn't seem to share the same sentiment. They did end the conversation, probably in the interest of customer service, by saying, oh, they would consider that in the future, or they would think of that in the future. Let me show you what a box should actually look like if you're shipping a live reptile. Is there, in any universe, with any common sense human being, where you would not look at this and immediately know, no matter what angle you look at it, that there is a live animal in there and that it should be handled with freaking care, that it should be kept in moderate temperatures, and that it should keep moving? I think not. Disregard the size of the box. I accidentally ordered the wrong size. Again, I'm new to this. I think we need to stop messing around. Though it is rare, it is not impossible for delays to happen. It is not impossible for those delays to lead to deaths. So what should we absolutely not do ever? Do not ship between Thanksgiving and New Year's. Even further precaution, maybe just don't ship in the 3 coldest months of the year. It can be safe to ship in colder temperatures. It's better that a reptile be exposed to cold than to heat. But maybe just take that precaution. Do not ship your animal in a package that does not clearly indicate that it is a live animal. It matters. And there's really no excuse. I didn't notice this packaging that had all of this obvious imagery and words on it to be any more expensive than one that is more vague. So what is the justification for choosing packaging that is not painfully obvious that it is a live animal? I don't understand. So just don't do it anymore. Don't ship animals between Thanksgiving and New Year's, and don't put animals in a box that is not clearly labeled. Don't do it. Stop it. Apologies for my toot and my raised voice. This is just incredibly frustrating, and I have no tolerance for, people causing preventable issues, and I really have no tolerance for a breeder telling me, oh, there's absolutely no reason for concern. I do this all the time. It's going to be fine, when there's so many reasons why it might not be. Okay. Thank you for sitting by and watching me rant about this. Hopefully you somewhat agree. I understand that this video, though it shouldn't be, is probably going to be a little bit controversial, and there will still be people that use this kind of vague packaging that will disagree. And you are free to voice that opinion. You are free to have that opinion. But the fact stands, you can't take away my experience. I did have 2 animals arrive to me frozen and almost dead because of this kind of packaging. Whereas all of the other animals I received that arrived in packaging like this came quickly within like 12 hours and were completely fine. So you think what you want, but you're wrong. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.